Well, first of all, we have two-prong approach towards the students in the university for giving them support. We have in the general university, we have a maths cafe, and we have the English support writing system as well. So that's for the general population. What we in Student Accessibility Services offer is support for students who have either a physical disability, maybe blind, low vision, hearing loss, mobility issues, and also students with learning difficulties, dyslexia, dyspraxia, etc. So in our area, we have close to 300 students now out of a university population of 10,000 registered with to receive our services. And it's kind of increased a lot in the last year. We've gone up by something like 20%. So all the time our services are increasing. However, we're noticing that a lot more students have learning difficulties rather than physical disability. And our physical disability numbers are fairly constant. And the other thing we're noticing more and more, students are coming to us with multiple disabilities, which is something that we're catching quite quickly now, whereas before it took us a little time to follow that. Basically, someone might have very mild form of dyslexia, which of itself wouldn't create an issue, but then they'd have a mild form of dyspraxia, mild form of dyscalculia, and by the time you get the whole picture of their learning ability, you can see that this is an impediment to them getting good grades and a high CGPA. And I'm afraid the modern world is focused on a high CGPA at this stage. So it's very important that we give them support. And that's what our function is here in the Student Accessibility Services. What we do is each student who joins us, who registers with us, we give them a specialist who works closely with them and provides general workshops on whatever they need, okay? But we also try and give them academic support as well. So we have a two-pronged approach towards helping these students.
What role, and generally in the unit, what role does technology play in generally in that support for some of those students?
Well, we find technology very important for our students, and particularly here in SAS, we're pushing it. All students in the university have a computer. The majority of students use their phones to access their classes during this period of learning online. So, oh, by the way, that's just a little note to you people who are creating apps. Please priority give to phones because more and more students are using them to access material, etc., etc. So technology is very, very important here. And in SAS in particular, we emphasize it because we notice that by training our students in technology, we are actually getting them up to the same levels as other students in the university. And in some cases now, because of online learning, some of our blind students have told me that it's only at the end of the semester that the other students in the class twig that there's something different about them, that they're shocked.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
It's incredible. Because what they're doing now is our blind students are not using paper-based products anymore. The materials are downloaded directly from the internet into their laptops or whatever, and then onto their braille machines, so that they can read it, or they're using voice to text as well to get the information that they require. So actually, I was shocked the other day. My colleague Miriam was printing something, and I don't know if you've heard the braille printers. They're extremely loud, and I went in and I said, "What's this? What are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, she said we just have to print a couple of pages." I hadn't heard it in 3 years. I
It's
haven't.
amazing.
And they're very expensive machines.
Yeah.
All of our students now are saying, no, we don't want paper. Blind students, we want it in digital form.
Yeah, no, that you've been using Read and Write in Equatio ever since. How does that generally help your students?
Well, actually, I use it myself, believe it or not. Some documents arrive to me in Arabic, so I translate it using the translator, and it's very accurate. I was in a meeting this morning and caused a lot of confusion because we received an email yesterday in Arabic, and I was talking about the email, and it was early in the morning, and the person running the meeting looked at the other person and said, "Did you talk to him about this beforehand? How does he know what's going on?" And I said, "I have Read and Write. I don't need people to translate for me." So it's very helpful in that way, and I'm always using voice to text because our text to voice, because you know, to read long articles, sometimes I give support to students, and you know, we have to go through materials, and it's much easier to go through it with that assistive technology, and they are very appreciative. All the students here, as I said, we have about 300 registered with us now, get workshops on Texthelp, on Read and Write in particular. And also we're now providing, yesterday we ran a workshop for faculty at the university promoting it, because as you said, we do see it as our mission to spread the idea of UDL throughout the university.
Yeah.
And we're by using Read and Write in Equatio, I feel that we are helping not only faculty but this general population of students increase their grades by giving them as much assistance as possible.
Yeah. But we need to focus on a time where we no longer talk about differences. We need to form new habits. We need to adapt our practice and support the needs of everyone, and we can do that through technology. And the last line there for me, our differences are our superpowers, and ed tech is and can be our magnifier. And the whole approach is to make sure that we respect that every student is different, and we understand that they need a range of different tools and access. And we, of course, hope that we can work with you at your institution, through our friends at EduTech, and help everyone understand and be understood. Back to that original mission that I set out earlier, it's very important to us. It genuinely is. If you look at the history of our company, that's why we actually get up in the morning.